Hey guys, my name is Dillon Ruland. I'm a local lamp working glassblower here in town. I specialize in jewelry, art glass, marbles, but especially memorial glass. Um, Memorial glass is glass that is uh, has cremated ashes incorporated in it of either pet or human loved one. Today I'm going to be making a small blue frit swirl pendant, and it's going to be with the ashes of a person in it. Actually, this is a commission that I am working on through Montgomery Striker Mortuary. This is part of my job. Um, so what I have here is I have a little bit of the deceased ash that I have sifted and spread out on my graphite marving pad here. I have some frit, which is essentially just crunched up glass, colored glass. The type of glass I'm going to be using today is I have what is it? That is a 12 millimeter solid rod Pyrex glass rod. I'm going to be using some 3 millimeter Pyrex glass rod. These are called punties, and they essentially act like my hands while holding, sculpting, maneuvering the glass around in the flame. Tools I'm going to be using. Well, this is probably my most valued tool, even though it's probably the cheapest tool. I like to call it my really expensive tool. It's just a butter knife that I have filed down the textured ridges on it. So it's just like a nice flat blade. I use it a lot for just mushing the glass around, sculpting and all that. I'm going to be using this pair of this is a bead loop jack, which is actually I just made out of a set of needle nose pliers that I just bent the tips inwards. So what it is like you just get a hot blob of glass and you go pop, and you just kind of wiggle it around a bit, and it just pops a hole in the glass. To where then come in with this thing. This is a graphite reamer. It's a kind of a small one. I call it the pencil reamer because it's roughly about the size of a pencil. You just use it to kind of pick out the hole, make it larger, and kind of, just mush the glass around. There's a lot of mushing of glass around in this whole thing. Other tools I'm going to be using. Oh yeah, going to be using these little calipers. So there's a little loop on the end of them, and I'm going to be grabbing the hot piece of when I'm pretty much done with the piece. Oh yeah, other tools. My torch. This is a oxygen and propane mixture torch. So you got your propane here, and then you add a little bit of oxygen. You got a really nice hot flame. People ask me how hot does it get. It's kind of hard to tell because of how it fluctuates. When it's full bore on, I don't know, I'd say upwards of like 3,000 to 4,000 degrees. If it's a softer flame, I'd say probably about 1,500. But long story short, we just call it RFH for really freaking hot. So yeah, there's that. Well, let's get started. Other things. I have a kiln that I use in order to anneal the glass. Because essentially what I'm doing here, or what I'm going to be doing, is I'm just going to be mushing around the glass. And like what that's doing is it's creating a lot of tension inside of it. So what this does is it gets it up to a volatile temperature where like on a crystalline level, everything's all mushed up. It starts like relaxing and then like aligning essentially to where it makes it nice and strong, and then it cools down at a nice slow even pace to where there's no just like stress because it's just dropping it down in temperature too fast. And above all, the most important tool that I have here, besides the torch and whatnot, to actually do it, is I have a vent fan, because you really want air circulation on this. Because the colors, the reason why a lot of the colors of the glass are so pretty is because there's a lot of metals in it, which create just the swirling, iridescent, just visually pleasing colors when it's not very pleasing on the good old lungs. So yeah, you gotta have a good air circulation out of here. And this thing, it sucks, but in a very good way. All right, well, get that turned on. Let's get started. Oh yeah, other tools completely forgot. They're hanging on my neck. Gotta have the shades. They're not just welding glasses. They're not just sunglasses. These are specifically for glass blowers. It's made with titanium glass, which cuts out the color spectrum of when you get sodium flares, where just like big orange plumes. I actually have a filter on my camera right now, so you're going to actually be able to see what I'm doing instead of just a giant orange mass right here. But and then these ones are shade 3, dark green shades. So you want to be kind to your eyes. So just like it reduces a lot of eye fatigue. Anyways, well, I'm going to start off with kind of a larger flame, and we'll start off with this guy. I'm going to start heating up the tip here, and I'm going to take off some scrap glass on the end and kind of clean it up. I'm going to start on the outer part of this flame. Start kind of heating it up slowly, because you don't really just want to like dive right into the working part of the flame. It'll just too big a temperature change too quickly. And when you do that, you get a lot of cracking. Sometimes glass will just flat out explode, and you don't want that. So right here I got this thing. It's called my tank bucket. It's just a tin can with water in it, and what it does is use it to shed off scrap glass. You just dip the end of it in there, like where it was hot, and it'll just make a little fraction go tink, and it pops right in that water. So now what I'm doing is I am going to be heating up this end of the rod here to get it good and melty, to like where I can then roll it around in this crunched up frit. And the frit that I'm using today is called Alaskan Thunder. It's cobalt blue with a lot of silver in it, so you get like this really cool, just beautiful iridescent silver and white colors going on. You see right there? That's all kind of sticking to there. And I just got to melt it in. I like to do a few layers on there so you get good coverage, so you don't have so it's not all patchy. Second layer on. Re-true it up on this. So this thing right here is a graphite marving pad. There's a lot of graphite used in glass blowing for tools, because it doesn't transfer heat. smaller flame. I want to concentrate it onto this end here first. I want to puncty up to this end, where I want to start rotating it in the same way, but I want to have one arm going faster than the other arm in order to create a nice gentle lag, so it'll start swirling it. So first, I'm going to attach the puncty, and I'm going to be using this thing called a cold seal. Cold seal is where one bit of glass is a little bit hotter, is quite a bit hotter than the other one. The other one's quite a bit cooler. And it makes a very weak bond, enough to be able to manipulate the glass however you want, but it's meant to come out cleanly. So I'm focusing my flame on the thickest part of the glass here, because I want that to start swirling first, because the smaller glass, that'll heat up real easily. Now have a nice swirl on there. Now I'm going to melt that back down a bit. Notice my elbow is down and I have this upward, so I want to make a kind of a gather, because molten glass has about the consistency of honey. Notice I'm always rotating too. It's always like rotating, like, yeah, because like honey, the moment you stop, it kind of falls right off. So now I'm going to melt the end here, and I'm going to stamp it down onto this pad here to make the flat back of the disc, which will be the pendant. Nice and flat. Come in like this to let it condense a little bit. It's feeling good. So now what I want to do is I want to heat this up to do the ash stamp. And so what the ash stamp quite literally means is I want to stamp it, the hot glass, into the ash in order to pick some up onto the glass, to where I want to then sandwich it in between the backing colored glass on there, so it'll be fully incorporated and bonded and become part of the glass. So right now, I just stamped in some ash. You can see, like, before adhesive, yeah. So we got the dust right in there. So now I want to do a burn off. So what burn offs are, they kind of help release the remaining gases within the cremated remains. So now, what I'm going to do is I got this color here, and I'm going to now coat the back with this. This is dark multi, I believe. It's known for really beautiful coloring, and I'm going to be using a coil potting method. It's kind of like a little swirl now, like a cinnamon bun. Now I'm just gonna get that all nice and melted and incorporated into this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to puncty up to the back of this and now separate from the large rod. A lot of back and forth on this. You see, that's how the good hold seal should pop right off. see it it's still kind of very glowy. Maybe. Just. Yeah, no. Well, regardless, I'm going to be putting at the end of the video, I'm going to be showing how this pendant turned out. So, that's how it's supposed to come off. So now, it's going to flame polish the back of it, because like when you attach a cold seal putty like that, there's always like a little burr on there, and just like a little touch of the flame, it'll smooth that right out. So now I'm going to attach some of the same color that I used to back this with. I'm going to attach a blob of it, technical term, to the very top. And the thing is, when you're doing this, you want both pieces of glass to be around the same temperature so that you have a full, nice, strong seal. And done properly, it's indiscernible from the rest of the glass. It all just becomes part of the same thing. So now I'm going to create a little gather of this colored glass up here on top. Now I'm going to detach the main color rod. We'll melt this back down into it a little. Make sure it's all nice and even. And I just use these little clamps to bite down in the center of that blob. And what that does is it creates a hole where then I can use this guy to kind of pick it a little bit larger, so you can then put a cord in it. Whatever you want, whether it's leather, satin, hemp, whatever you want. Sure this is all nice and even. And there we have ourselves a nice Fritz swirl pendant. So now, these guys, warm them up just a little bit, not directly put them in the flame, just kind of bounce them back and forth. I'm going to grab that bail up on top there. Just go right there. So now I'm going to flame polish out that burr. Now toss her in the kiln so she can bake in the easy bake oven. So now what it's going to be doing is the kiln is sitting at about 350 degrees at the moment, and now it's going to be raising up to about, I'd say, 1100 Fahrenheit. It's going to sustain that for about 20 minutes. So some of the colors in there, they actually will not fully saturate until they've reached a volatile temperature and sustain it for a certain amount of time. So these colors are just going to get more vibrant, more true, and just essentially just more beautiful. As well as it's going to be making the piece in itself stronger. And then after that, 20 minutes is done, it's going to start just ramping down, just like cooling off, very nice and slow, so until it's room temperature, and then it's good to go. Well, thank you for checking all this out. If you guys are curious about some of the other pieces I've done in the past, my Instagram, uh, uh, handle is at SageGlassCuriosities. I do a lot of custom orders, and I do a lot of live videos on Instagram as well as my personal Facebook. But I'm also going to be doing more videos through LPAC, Laramie Public Art Coalition. Keep checking it out, and if you feel so inclined, follow me on Instagram. I do custom jobs all the time. Cool. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy your afternoons.